let's have a beautiful experience. In this video, we're going to talk about being manipulative, how to naturally raise your testosterone, your human growth hormone, and make your penis bigger. It's a beautiful thing. You gotta love it. All right, before we get started here, please do me a huge favor. Please ring the bell, subscribe to the channel, tell some friends. Make sure you give me that Arthur Fonzarelli thumbs up like so I say, hey, and of course, follow me on my social media. I go by Jesus_Detroit on my Instagram, Snapchat, I'm YOUNGDAYGO. And that's right, we're talking about being manipulative here, and you know what we're all about in the BCC, the Big Cock Consciousness, the Big Cock Collective, where I help you manifest a bigger, wider, thicker, longer, stronger, and harder penis, help you naturally raise your testosterone and your HGH. I'm a spiritual guide and a mentor here to expand your mind and increase your size. So without further ado, I'm here to tell you about being manipulative, and that is a tongue twister of a word, and it just came to me today, and it was really what's been in the air in my life and possibly the collective's life. And what it all comes down to is, like, you know, the people that run into your life are essentially, you know, a perception of what your mind is creating, and that is what essentially what a manipulative type of person may or may not be, because at whatever end of the spectrum that you're on, somebody could be manipulating you. And what this all has to do with is being able to be on the positive side of being manipulative. So might as well increase your size, and that's what we're all about, manipulating the size. And that is a beautiful rhyme, and you know what I'm going with. What it really all comes down to is, like I always say, if you want beauty to appear, you got to keep this clear. You got to be a clear conduit for growth. So you got to be on the good side of the flow no matter what you do. So that's something that you ought to, you know, that you ought to, you know, use what you got to know. It's what you got to feel, because everybody, like I gotta say, like Rocky Balboa says, nothing's real unless you believe in yourself. So you got to believe in who you are, and whatever story that you're grabbing out of the universe and you're piecing together about, you know, whoever, whatever, can essentially be your mind. You know, it could be your mind playing whatever your receptor is tuned to. And that's why, you know, getting out of your own way is getting out ahead of it. And that's why, you know, a lot of spiritual guides will always tell you about, you know, meditating and, you know, getting out of your own thoughts and being able to respect the idea that all thoughts are things. And maybe, you know, the way that you're looking at somebody isn't the actual picture, and the way somebody's perceiving you isn't their actual, you know, perception. Which is why I always say, you know, and what others like to agree with is, you know, whatever anybody's got to say about you is none of your business. So don't be sticking around your nose where it don't belong. And I'm thinking about a wedding singer. Hey, why don't you write a song? I got punched in the face for sticking my nose, or wherever he said, when he's talking to Julia's boyfriend or whatever, and he's like, I used to be a lot stronger, and, you know, he punched Robbie. It was a great movie. You know me, I'm a movie buff, and, you know, those are the things that are always making me smile, because what it all comes down to, like I say, the smile is divine. It's made inside the mind. And whenever you're doing that, you're doing something right. If you're grinning, you're winning. So if you got to get on Netflix and watch yourself a movie to just raise up the mood, that's something that could definitely improve the way that you feel on a day-to-day. And, you know, that's, you know, all movies and all these type of things are all, you know, vibrational and a feeling anyways. And if it's putting you in that zone of just feeling good, then you're doing something right. But if you're, you know, like I say, even scrolling the gram, that could be a beautiful thing. If you're seeing positive, you know, positive memes, positive mantras. You're like looking at animals. Some wolves, Tiger King is pretty lit. I mean, honestly, that show, you know, whatever, you know. It's not if it's your thing, that's beautiful. I like animals, you know. I like the, you know, eye of the tiger, heart of the lion, spirit of the wolf. You know me, I'm a lunatic, and you got a full moon that's just been going on, the full pink super wolf moon. Let's get it lit. And this whole, this whole beautiful experience that we all been going through, and we get to, you know, share it all together in the collective. And there's just been a whole bunch of, beautiful, beautiful downloads, beautiful, cleansing that's been going on. And also a whole shift of what's been going on with, the way that people are being able to exercise and being able to really get inside. And that's why today, when we're talking about the manipulative ways, it's about manipulating your mind, so to speak, because, like one of my biggest philosophies in life is undoing, because sometimes you got to undo to find you. And that's what really, any type of philosophy of, getting away from yourself and really looking at the whole bigger picture, understanding like, is this me or is this some thought or whatever it may or may not be, you got to find what resonates with you. And when we're talking about, growing and naturally raising your testosterone, your human growth hormone, and of course, making that huge piece of meat, swing to the knees, drop to the pecs, making you your best. You know what I'm talking about. Give it a kiss. Talking about becoming the giant guys that we are, not worrying about them little gremlins at your feet. We're talking about just being that huge, giant of love, not worrying about anything down there, because we're up here, we're huge, and that's where we keep the love flowing, we keep it growing. And you know me, always sharing that matrix hack any which way that I can. And like I said, you can essentially manipulate the energy of the room through your perception by doing these simple phrases that I like to say. And instead of, whenever you go in a room or whenever somebody comes into your life, whenever somebody comes across your mind, you're hearing them on the phone, and even on TV, man, all you got to do, instead of having a good, bad, or neutral thought, and even if you just had a thought of another thought, you go ahead and you take that back for a moment and you just say, I intend on that person, that soul, to have a beautiful day, to feel love in some kind of way, and you go along your day and you just hacked the matrix. You just did it in a manipulative type of way, and I'm really loving that word today, because that's what the flow comes down to. And you know what I'm coming with next. We're talking about how I wake up every single day, and the fact that you got a breath in your lungs, a breath you can recollect before your feet hit the ground. You know the sound. This is something that I do every day, and it just feels great. And it's a beautiful moment. So go ahead and take this breath with me. I got a shot today. I feel beautiful, because gratitude is the attitude. You got to be thankful that you woke up today. You got to be able to have a piece of this, a piece of life. And that's something that you got to just, give appreciation to, and it's like, getting through this beautiful thing that we're in, whatever it may or may not be. You can always, see the sunny side of of where you're at. And that's exactly what the whole manipulative type flow that we're talking about today. And me, I was watching Lethal Weapon, and with the original one with Danny Glover and Mel Gibson, the first one, and that one personally one of my favorites. And it was when Mel Gibson was known as as a psycho in it, because he was depressed about his wife being dead, and he had like a death wish, so to speak. So like anytime that he was getting involved with like the bad guys or whatever, and having to save people that are trying to jump off a building, he was fearless, because he wasn't afraid of death. And when that and people in the whole police force are like, this guy's he's crazy, and nobody wanted to be his partner, and he got pinned with Danny Glover, Murtaugh, and he's like, I'm too old for this shit, and that's essentially the the baseline of the movie. And by the end of it, basically, he says that, hey, hey, Murtaugh, I'm not crazy. He ends up giving him the hollow point bullet. Great movie. And what it all comes down to is, the way that everybody was looking at him like he's a psychopath was essentially giving everybody the illusion that he is a psycho. And as you see, when he goes through it, you see he's a genuine person, and he doesn't want to die. And that's really what it all comes down to, because, one of the most important, magic and things that you can do is something called Ho'oponopono. And that is when you essentially stop, taking the judgment out of, the way that you're perceiving people. Because, everybody is collectively, connected by whatever this magic is, by some means, some way. Every single day whatever your thoughts are, they're all linked up, and you know, could be able to put a story together that may or may not be, because essentially everything is floating around anyway. So whatever one that you're grabbing onto, I mean, is it the one that you want to ride? That's why I always say ride the one of the size, ride the one of the flow, ride the one of the good or the grow, and that's what's something that you ought to know. So like, you know, Ho'oponopono, the Hawaiian practice, is something that pretty much clears up the, you know, whatever perception you may or may not have on somebody, someone, and that's essentially, you know, the gift, and that's what can help you at any given time. Like, whenever you have a perception on somebody that's just so like, okay, like no matter what, you keep seeing somebody in this light, and you can't understand how to see them any other way. Ho'oponopono is something that can definitely help change your mind, because this Hawaiian practice is something that, you know, was practiced in Hawaii, and this doctor had a whole list of patients that were, you know, diagnosed, you know, psychotic in some type of way, and he didn't even go in the room. He just looked at all their names on this list, and he said these 4 magical phrases over and over and over, and he was able to change the way that these people were perceived, because he believed in the magic of, you know, neutralizing the playing field. And what it all comes down to is these 4 phrases. I say this in some of my videos, but it's worth sharing right now. And it comes with, I am sorry, because, you know, you gotta take ownership. You know what I mean? You gotta, for whatever reason, you gotta, you know, you gotta say, I am sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. So you gotta say, please forgive me, because you gotta ask for forgiveness. You gotta say that you're sorry, because you gotta take ownership for the way that you're feeling. And no matter what it may or may not be, no matter if you feel that somebody done you wrong, if you're the one that you gotta just go neutral with it. You gotta be like, you know what? I'm sorry for how I felt, because it's the feeling essentially that you got to be sorry about. Because if everything's vibrational anyways, whatever somebody's, you know, triggering to make you, you know, elude that vibrational feeling, that is essentially, you know, the one that you didn't like. That's what you're sorry about. So whether, you know, how that ever happened, you take the ownership. I am sorry. Then you say, please forgive me, because you got to ask for forgiveness. Never assume it done. And you know how I say, man, it makes an ass out of you and me. And when we're talking the next one, you got to say thank you, because, you know, gratitude's the attitude. And of course, I love you, because the power of love is real. So you say, I am sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, I love you. I am sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, I love you. And you keep saying that over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, and you're manipulating and giving that whole cleansing type of flow to the way that people and the whole universe and your universe is perceiving, you know, that soul. And that's what essentially can help out everything that you've been going through, and how people are feeling. And that is some type of magic that, you know, like I say, man, I don't discredit science, but I don't discredit magic. And if you're able to get behind that, that is something that is profound, and it will definitely help you on a day-to-day, at any given time. Whenever you got some type of crazy thoughts about, you know, you want to, whatever you want to do, just, you know, driving off the road or whatever it may be, if you're ready to, you know, fly off the handle and you're just feeling kind of whatever, you say those phrases. It's kind of like, you know, a woo-saw type of practice. And, you know, or like on Seinfeld, when George's dad would be like, serenity now! And he'd be screaming, man, and he's like, and then George is like, are you supposed to yell it? And he's like, the doctor wasn't specific, or the man on the tape wasn't specific. But whatever it may be, you know, it's definitely a stress relief and a magical formula that has been proven through so many different types of holistic ways and avenues, and it's worth getting behind. Now, anyways, what I'm going with today is there's a whole bunch of things that I love to say, and always being on the side of the grow, the side of the good. And you know what this flow is coming down to. You know what it all comes down to is the mind and muscle connection. It's about putting your mind into the size, because every single time I got to show you that energy is neither destroyed nor created. It doesn't matter, because it just is. It's always there for you to just grab and ride the lightning at any given time to increase your size. It doesn't matter how much weight you're lifting. It doesn't matter what you're eating, how much sleep that you got. Essentially, you want to make sure you're getting plenty of sleep, but no matter what, you can get lit at any given time, because you can feel the reason to grow. You can feel that field around you. You see that spit? That's real. That's what I'm talking about. Sometimes you got to get a little crazy. We're talking getting like Riggs. You know what I mean? Lethal weapon type of flow. Really letting you know how to go. And what we're coming down to in this flow and this grow is what I always got to talk about is Paramahansa Yogananda, the one that brought yoga here, saying that the mind is the wielder of muscle. It's the mind that's putting on the size. It doesn't matter about anything else. We're talking Arnold Schwarzenegger. We're talking bodybuilders alike. We'll all agree that there are certain types of techniques in using sexual energy. Like he says, like, when I'm at the gym, it's like I'm coming, like, yeah. He's putting that sexual energy into his grow. And when we're talking about that flow, essentially, that is what's making, that's what creates the body, and that's what creates us. That's what brings us here. We're all created from excitement. Never forget that. So when we come from that type of flow and that explosion of love, we're talking about putting it into the muscle at any given time. It doesn't matter about what you're lifting. It's about manipulating the mind, and that's what's going to help you make this flow go. And like I say, man, the positive mantras along the way will definitely help you grow. And ones that I like to say is, I am magic, I am divine, and the universe is on my side. And Abraham Hicks, things are always working out for me. And then, of course, giving thanks for the beautiful body, the beautiful avatars that you got. I am sweating right now, feeling anabolic in Detroit Rock City. Quarantine lockdown. Let's grow out of the house. We're talking about being huge, and I'm dripping that sweat. And you know what we're going with right here? We're talking about giving the gratitude about your body. I'm so happy and grateful that my huge, beautiful muscles are growing bigger, harder, stronger, more defined, abundantly. And then, of course, for your penis, I'm so happy and grateful that my huge, beautiful penis is growing bigger, wider, thicker, longer, stronger, and harder, abundantly. And then, of course, whenever you could say a couple other ones for, like, your metabolism. I'm so happy and grateful that I have a high metabolism. I can eat whatever I want, whenever I want. Gaining only lean muscle mass. My body is constantly gaining lean muscle mass. And you got that in your mind. It's definitely going to reflect in your life. And that's something that should be on your mind, manipulating the size. And that's what we're talking about. When you got to get one last rep out, you go ahead and you scream and you shout. Or at least feel this in your head. Just go ahead and get it in and feel this. I am magic. I am divine. And I can increase my size. Oh, yeah. Getting lit, getting ripped, getting huge. 2020. Let's go. Let's grow. Let's flow. It's a beautiful thing. I'm dripping that sweat, man. Look at that. You can cash at me later. You know what I'm going with. But anyways, you know what it comes down to. Holding my accountability. And like Mr. Larson says, yeah, you can count on me waiting for you in the parking lot. Fresh can, Stone Cold Steve Austin style. What? Shut up, salute. Beautiful thing. You gotta love it. Oh yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Tell you, man, you gotta say thank you again, man. But always be on the side of the good, no matter what it is. Even if you're putting a beer in you, understand that there's some beautiful nutraceuticals in here, some beautiful fuel for your muscles. Understand that bodybuilders actually utilize this stuff. You can get behind any type of scientific magic that can manipulate your mind, because essentially what all these diets are is, it's what's doing that anyways. Whether you're going the vegan route, whatever it may be, it's what your mind is allowing, essentially. And that's really what it all comes down to today. Your mind is what you're the one that's going to be in charge of making up your mind. And if you want to, whatever resonates with you, that's a beautiful thing. I don't condone the use of alcohol or the use of drugs, but I don't condone the use of you not being you. So whatever you got to do to feel you go ahead and you feel it, man. Find what resonates with you. And for that, I say salute. Oh, yeah. And with that, I feel like we're going to close this beautiful experience yet again. We're going to have plenty more to come along the way. Make sure you guys are hitting me up in the BCC. You guys want some real help, make sure you guys are, sending me an email. Really get at me. I can show you the techniques, the masturbation manifestation, the super jogging, the super edging, the super kegels, all these, even utilizing partners and a whole bunch of other types of magical ways that can definitely increase your size. You want to hit me up if you're really into this stuff. And even just saying what's up is a beautiful thing too, man. I'm here for you. So make sure you guys drop me a line, and I'll be here. Make sure you're checking out my kids, taking care of the neighborhood, my wolf and my bear, always there. It's a beautiful thing. And like I say, man, I intend on all you guys to feel beautiful as who you are. I intend on you guys to feel beautiful being naked, to spread some love today, to understand that you have a place here, man. You are necessary, you are loved, you are energy. And if you're coming with energy, you're coming with love, you can do no wrong. And for that, I say salute. I say I'll be seeing you around. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.